To another community chat of this particular program. We use this as a vehicle to explore, have conversations, whether it's with various appointed and elected officials, talk about issues and topics. The idea is to better help and inform the residents of Abington. My name is Kevin Tachi. I will be the host for the next 30 minutes. Joining us today is a gentleman who is the town manager, brought on board just a couple of weeks ago. Joining us is Mr. Scott Lambiase. Scott, welcome to Community Chat.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be with the town of Abington. This is a great town, and I'm looking forward to a lot of work here.
Yeah. For folks who may or may not know you, may not follow local government, maybe they're more tuned into the public channel that Abington Cam has and not necessarily watching the government meetings, because you have been on quite a few of those already. Kind of tell a little bit about yourself.
Well, I live in Whitman, and I've lived there right up the road for the past 20-something years. Over those years, I've been very active in town politics in that town. 7 years I spent on the Board of Selectmen, and I'm currently on the Finance Committee in that town also, which we'll be wrapping up soon. The past 15 years I've spent working for the town of Duxbury up until my appointment here. I was the Director of Municipal Services for the town, and I handled a lot of different duties, some of which included procurement and project management. I was involved in special projects, licensing, permitting for the town, the inspectional services department, zoning departments. There was a lot of different subjects that I dealt with there, including I was involved in union negotiations at some points in time, and same that I've done over in Whitman also.
What has it been like to be part of local government, town government, a municipality? What has it been like for you?
Well, like most people, I had no idea, 20 years ago when I had moved into my first house over in Whitman. I was all excited to go to my first town meeting, and that sort of opened my eyes to what it was all about. And I found it fascinating that, it was the purest form of government where we all have a chance and a say in how we go about our daily business and how we educate and protect ourselves and care for our communities. And I found that the more involvement that people had, the better sense of community that you would get, and the better sense of unity and family that you would get within that community. So it wasn't long after that I actually sought a job in town government, and the first job I looked for was it was actually in the town of Duxbury, and I just went there to apply as a part-time building inspector. And I had a construction company, a very big construction company at the time. I was looking to wind things down. And I walked in and I realized that there was a lot of good opportunities within town government. And I made sure that I availed myself of all of them. And there were, so many different facets to it that I found, in different different avenues and the different things that town government did. And I was excited and still am excited to be involved in all of them, because it really is, it is fascinating when you spend the time. I spent 10 years or, the 15 years there, but it really took 10 years. And then I could to start to see what the effects of, what my work was in government, and how, it could affect and change a community for the better. if you really applied yourselves and worked with the community and worked for programs and found out things that they wanted and that they were engaged in.
What has it been like to get acclimated to the town of Abington and town government taking over the helm as a town manager? You're coming in during a time that a lot of times, normally, if we weren't going through a pandemic, would be gearing up and getting ready for town meeting. I mean, that time has come and gone. They've had to push back town meeting. But what has it been like coming in and getting your feet wet and getting to know department heads and an understanding of what the town is going to spend for the next fiscal year, things like that?
Well, it was interesting. I mean, obviously, had it played out different and there was no pandemic, I could have walked in. I think the budget was set. A lot of work had gone into setting that budget. The department heads are great. They're very dedicated staff here, very hardworking. The difficult part was as I walked in and nobody was here. We were all under pretty strict lockdown at the time. Most people were working remotely. Most of my introductions were from more than 6 feet away wearing a mask, or it was a Zoom meeting. Matter of fact, I think my final interviews were all through Zoom meetings. And so that was very difficult because even though you do see face to face, it is very impersonal. So and then walking into realizing that all the hard work that all of these dedicated individuals put into putting together what was a balanced budget and a great program, and certainly in normal times would have been really set a good foundation for what would have been what will be my next 3+ years, I hope. But unfortunately, because of the conditions that we looked at, it was time to really scramble and rework that budget. And we knew the projections that we had for revenue and projections that we have for state aid, even though we weren't getting and still aren't sort of getting any new numbers in or any information from the state, but we know that those projections are not going to work. And so it was really me having to reach out to these individuals and say, I know you don't know me, but trust me, we're going to work through this. We're going to work it together, but we're going to have to make some cuts. We're going to have to tighten our belts. I know you're going to have to give up some things, and I promise that, I will help restore this. And they did. They we worked hard, and we got ourselves to a point where we're walking in with a comfortable number and a comfortable balanced budget that is much less than it was a little over a month ago.
A lot of people don't like the P word. That's Prop 2.5 override. But I don't know if that's anything that needs to be discussed at this point, because there's still a lot of unknown variables with the state. You're still trying to figure out what the numbers are, but at least try to set things. How do you make such an ask to, hey, can you tighten your belt a little bit more on the new guy? How difficult is that? And then how rewarding is it when someone goes, yes, I can do that, but hopefully you'll keep me in mind when things are better?
But yeah, it's a difficult ask, but unfortunately, everybody understands, and it's not. I don't think it was a surprise to anybody when we had to do it. Every day it's something new. It's coming at us constantly, and we're used to that in town government. Things. People. It may seem seamless on the outside, but things are constantly coming at us. I have a background where I've worked, quite closely and as part of the police department in Duxbury, and worked very close hand in hand with the fire department. And those are organizations that you're used to. It isn't, things don't just go smoothly constantly. And I mean, you have to react and you have to be ready to react. So those agencies, when you ask them, look, you're going to have to change things on the fly, they get it. They get it. They know they have to do it. So the easy answer is, yeah, we can do it. We'll work with you. We have to. We know we have to do it. Um, the difficult answer is how is it going to affect, because it's going to have an effect, and especially those are the larger the departments, those are the larger areas where you can try and ask them to make a concession to help out and to do something, or maybe put off hiring somebody or buying some equipment or whatever the case may be. But they're also the ones that are, it's like DPW. It's the ones that's most noticeable. Whether it's a slight effect on services, a great effect on services, it's somehow, I mean, we're a service industry. Ultimately, we're offering you, and we're putting out, a safe community, and we're going to, have response times, and we're going to have good, clean roads, and we're going to keep them, have some nice parks. That's what your budget's going to. That's what it is, and that's what stuff, can get affected. And so the hard part is to get everybody to, when you say we need to cut $1.5 million out of a $52 million budget, to say we want to do that and have the least amount of effect on the community as possible. That's the trick.
So when it comes to the warrant, whether it's the special or the annual, any special provisions in regards to, is it going to be stripped down to the studs, that if there are any major capital requests, if there was anything that's pending, will there still be a discussion, or will it be basically the bare bones, because it's a matter of wanting to get through town meeting and do it safely?
Yeah, and I'm glad you asked that. And I think, we hope to next week probably do some more PSAs to try and get some information out on that. But yeah, right now the intention is to put together a town meeting with a bare bones budget, just the budget, what we need to operate and to continue forward. We are leaving in capital requests of things that we think absolutely should get done. We also have a spending freeze and a hiring freeze in place. So anything that does get approved won't necessarily take effect. We will wait and see what the economic climate brings us. And if things are better, we will start to roll out some of those capital projects. Some of the projects that require borrowing, we will be on there. And you'll see that they're just items that, we just can't put off. As much as we'd like to put everything off and say, let's wait till next year, it isn't practical. So we are going to have those items in there. We're going to review. We want to review them way ahead of time, or ahead of time with you on your access channel for everybody to see. But yeah, town meeting, the idea of town meeting will be to make it as expeditious. We want people to come in a safe manner. We want to get them into the high school. We want to take care of business. We want to keep them separated and follow all the Department of Public Health requirements. And we want them to be able to go home as safe as they were when they came in. So that means, yeah, let's just do what we have to do. Our intention would be zoning articles won't be on there, planning articles won't be on there. And I think what we would expect to do is come back at some point, maybe in the fall or early winter, and have a special town meeting and take care of those things when we can. That being said, that's assuming best case scenario. We don't know this, the nature of this disease or this pandemic has been such that we don't know. Things keep changing. They keep happening. They tell us that it's getting better, but there could be another surge, and they don't understand or they're not sure what that second surge or second wave, if it happens, what it'll be like. So we want to keep that in the back of our mind, that we may not be able to have a town meeting in the fall either. So that's an important reason why we want to get this budget set. We're putting a good amount of money into what we already have as a healthy stabilization fund. And, so we feel that we're in a good position. We're certainly in a good position to get through this budget year. and start working probably earlier than ever on the budget for the following year.
Knowing that the town meeting is going to be just a couple of weeks ago, a little less than 3 weeks away, on June 22nd. As a 1-2 punch, the following day, June 23rd, town election. What is happening at town hall? What's being done to get ready for this?
Well, the good news is things are moving forward. We are, slowly getting back to business. Town hall is now open. We're at our regular hours. We're 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Thursday, and 8:30 to 12:30 on Friday. All the offices are open. They're staffed to the minimum, so we meet all of the Department of Public Health requirements. But there's somebody there. We have addressed the issues. We have someone that'll greet you when you come into town hall, and they're here to tell you that, we need you to wear a mask when you walk in. We have hand sanitizing stations for you. If you don't have a mask, we'd be happy to give you one. And if you're, for whatever reason, unable to wear a mask for some medical or other reason, notify that person, and you'll be told to where your department is that you're looking for, and we just want you to take care of your business as expeditiously as possible. You can come in, you can vote. We do have absentee/early voting set up. It's absentee voting, but you can come in, request from the town clerk a ballot for the local election. You can fill the ballot out and you can return it right here on site. So if you don't want to come to the voting day, you're welcome to come now to town hall and take care of it. You can also reach out to the town clerk online. You can send her an email and let her know, and we'll mail one out to you. So we'll do whatever we can. We have drop boxes here, whatever we can. We want to just keep everybody safe and healthy. And that's when you walk into town meeting, you'll see, and same thing at the town election, you'll see that we're all, we're going to have signs, we're going to have volunteers, people are going to be wearing masks. We're going to ask you to wear your masks to both of those events. If you don't have one, someone will be there that can provide you with one. We'll have hand sanitizing stations. The registrars will have plexiglass shields to protect them and to keep the proper separation between the citizens as they check in. So that, everything's designed. We've got the best laid plan that we think that will offer a good amount of separation. It'll seem weird, it'll seem awkward, but we are looking forward. We are getting back to business, and we're getting back to work.
I think it's worth noting that things are slowly making progress. We have successfully, here in the Commonwealth, flattened the curve, and the governor has been painstakingly careful as to having things return to normal. There are discussions about the next phase. I believe it's phase 2. What are the conversations you're hearing or that you're a part of in regards to phase 2 and what that will entail?
Yeah, so we're watching it very closely. There are daily updates that the governor has, the briefing that on the news that we all watch, and the Department of Public Health is having daily updates that they have a conference call with all the health agents, and we're participating in that. The MMA, Mass Municipal Association, they're carefully tracking what's going on. And I've been in constant contact with Senator Keenan's office, Allison Sullivan. Representative Allison Sullivan's been extremely helpful. I've reached out to some old colleagues, Josh Cutler, and our representative down in Duxbury has been very helpful. So it's really been a lot of hands helping getting information. So we are tracking it. It does appear, and as everybody knows, that we're preparing to move into phase 2. The governor is going to make that announcement, I believe, on Saturday or by Saturday, that if we are actually ready to start phase 2, and then 2 being a 2A for some industries, particularly the restaurant industry. We are for a lot of reasons, we're really looking to try and get them back to work. They've all reached out to us, and we've reached back out to them. And we're trying to find an expeditious way to help them, because it does appear that the beginning of phase 2 for restaurants is going to require outdoor seating only. And that's great for the restaurants that have outdoor seating, but obviously the process, if you don't already have outdoor seating, to add that to your existing establishment on a normal, in the normal course of events, is a timely process. It requires, a zoning review. In many areas, it may be an allowable use. In some areas, it might not be. It may require a review for planning. Ultimately, if you want to serve alcoholic beverages out there, it requires a public hearing, duly noticed public hearing with the Board of Selectmen, and all of that stuff takes time. And one thing that, they've been out, there's been enough time has gone by that these people have been out of work. We want to get them back to work. We want to get their people back to work. So we've been working very hard to try and find a way that we can expedite the process. And the governor and his task force has also been working hard to find a way to expedite the process. So we're getting closer. We don't have all the answers. We have a lot of the answers. I'm going to ask, we have some policies that we're hoping to put in front of the Board of Selectmen. As you know, we do have a meeting planned for tomorrow night. I'm hoping that as these are laid out, and when we get a vote of the Board of Selectmen tomorrow night, that'll make it easier for us to approve these outdoor seating areas without having too much red tape. We'd like to get it done as expeditiously as possible. We don't know exactly what the date is. We hope it's going to be Monday. That the governor says, you can start the restaurants. I think the guidelines are out there. And they've all been sent, and they all have them as far as what the safety standards are. Separation of tables, wearing of masks, and they've been on the TV, so everybody's aware of what the requirements are going to be, and they have time. They want to get ready for it, but until they know that they're going to actually be open, it makes it very difficult for them. The things that they have to think about is staffing, scheduling the staffing. Having food on hand. I mean, they don't want to go out and buy a lot of food if they're not going to be able to be open. And their suppliers, are going to need notice, because they have to package and procure and distribute this stuff. So there's a lot of things in the air, and we're trying to do our best on our end to make it so we can let them know that you're going to be able to start at such and such a date, and you're going to be good with us. We've got a little bit of work to do on that, but that is a big issue with us. I think on Monday, if they do allow it, the retail that isn't already open will be able to be open. So we're slowly seeing these sectors of the economy that are going to be coming back, and we really need it.
We had a couple of minutes left in our conversation here. I don't know if you want to tackle, it seems like you've already kind of had quite the hill to climb in your early days as the town manager, knowing that there are other things, whether it's Griffin Dairy Farm or the possibility of trying to build a new fire station, or just greeting the public. If there was something you'd want to kind of chat about for a couple of moments before we wrap up our conversation, what would you want to touch upon?
Yeah, there's a lot of, I'm looking forward to get beyond this, because there are a lot of projects that we want to deal with. We have, the fire station project, like you say. I'm looking forward to finding out what, how the committee wants to go forward with that, and what they want to do. Griffin's Dairy Farm, it was great. I had managed to squeak an hour or so that I could get over there and actually tour that facility, and it was eye-opening and amazing. It's a wonderful amenity to this town, and I hope everybody is aware of it, and I hope they take advantage of it. It's, the planting beds over there in the community garden and the walking fields. It's great. Um, I met Doug Ulwick the other day over at the future Turntable Park, and that walking trail that's over there that um, connects us to Rockland. It's pretty amazing, so there's a lot of other projects like that. I'm looking forward to spending some time with you and doing some um, PSAs. I'd like to, I want to spend some time over at the library, and I want to spend some time over at the senior center. I had the ability to go and visit the senior center, and unfortunately, the people who use it aren't able to come out and use it, but it's in full swing. The staff there is doing some amazing things and helping out and filling a lot of voids for the seniors that really need their help. And there's some projects over there that need to be taken care of. So I'm looking forward to that. But I actually want to have a set time when I will be at the senior center, with maybe once a month for coffee and to get to talk to people. And same thing at the library. And looking forward to saying, hey, look, I'm going to pop into the library once a month or every other month or quarterly or whatever, and just to have a time when anybody wants to come in and talk and ask questions or whatever. I just kind of look forward to those days.
What if someone wanted to come to town hall and had a specific discussion or item or issue that they wanted to discuss with you or have addressed? What would you suggest to them if they wanted to come and visit you?
Yeah, so like I said, town hall's open, but we're working and we're working hard, and we've got a lot going on here. But I absolutely would encourage anybody who wants to come in and talk to me or talk to anybody, but specifically with me, if you want to reach out, send me an email, give me a call. If you want to spend some time with me, I just highly recommend that you just try to call or schedule it with me, because it'd just be easier. I'm here every day. Most of the time I'm in my office, but there are a lot of other meetings going on and different things, and so I'd want to be able to give anybody who wants to come in as much time as they feel they need or would like to have. So yeah, absolutely. I look forward to meeting with people and committee members, or even just anybody who's curious and wants to come in and say hello.
If you will, throw out your contact info. I don't know if you want to throw out if you have an email address you want to share, or maybe your office number and an extension, so we can at least share that with the viewers.
Yeah, I can give you my email address is Lambiase, Lambiase at abingtonma.gov. And then the number here is 781-982-2000. And my extension is 4103.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you for this first installment of having a conversation with you as town manager, and some of the things as your job starts to take shape, and as the town is, starts to get back to normal. We look forward to having more conversations and more information from your office.
No, and I'm looking forward to it too. And I enjoy working with you, and I enjoy working with ABCAM. And as always, you're a big help and asset to the community. So I'm looking forward to getting a lot more information out with you.
Thank you so much. And we thank you at home for tuning into Community Chat. If you have an idea or a conversation you'd like to see on this very program, maybe you have an idea for a show and you'd like to be a host, maybe you'd like to volunteer, info@abingtoncam.tv. That's the way for you to kind of reach out, ask your questions, or make your suggestions. And until next time, you've been watching Community Chat. Have a good day.